You know, we all want to motivate the people in our lives, right? Our kids, our teammates, our colleagues, and what's our go-to tool? Praise. But what if I told you there's something way more powerful, something that works even when there's no obvious success to celebrate? Well, that's what we're digging into today. It's called acknowledgment.
This is from a real teacher, and wow does it hit home. It's that feeling of frustration we've all had. You want to build someone up, you want to encourage them, but you look at the results and you're just stuck. You're thinking, what can I possibly praise here? This is the exact problem we're going to unpack and solve.
So here's our game plan. We'll start with that frustration, then introduce this powerful idea of acknowledgement. We'll break it down into a really cool 5-level framework, show you why the base of that framework is the most critical part, and then, of course, give you some simple ways to start using this stuff right away.
Okay, so let's really dive into the problem. Our default setting is to praise results. You know, we cheer for the A on the test, the big sale, the winning goal. It's easy, it feels good. But that whole approach has a massive, massive blind spot.
And that leads us to this huge question. What about the student who's studying their heart out but still getting a C? Or the employee who's grinding away but just can't close the deal yet? If praise is only for the people standing on the winner's podium, what are we supposed to do for everybody else? We risk leaving a whole lot of people feeling totally invisible and unmotivated.
And this is where we need to make a big mental shift. It's time to move away from just praising results and start embracing something much bigger, something way more inclusive. The idea of acknowledgement.
In Japanese, there's a concept for this called shonen. It's about recognizing and approving. But here's the key. It's not about approving of a win. It's about simply seeing what is. It's about validating a person's effort, their actions, their good intentions, or even just their presence, completely separate from the outcome.
So how do we actually pull this off? Well, acknowledgement isn't just one thing. It's kind of like a spectrum, and a great way to visualize it is as a pyramid with 5 different levels. Let's break it down. So here it is, the pyramid of approval. Right at the very top, at level 1, you've got result approval. That's your classic praise, and it happens the least often. As you go down the pyramid, through process, action, and intention, you find more and more opportunities to connect. And it's all built on this huge, solid foundation. Level 5, existence approval. That's the one that's always available, and it's the most important of all.
So level 1, result approval. This is our comfort zone, right? It's celebrating a concrete win, something you can literally point to and say, great job. It's important, for sure, but it's only the tip of the iceberg.
These are the phrases we're all used to hearing and saying. You got 100 on the test, or awesome sales numbers this quarter. They're specific, they're based on an outcome, and they're super easy to say when things go well. But remember, they completely depend on success.
Okay, one level down, we find process approval. This is where we shift our focus from the destination to the journey. We start acknowledging the hard work, the strategy, the pure grit, the how behind it all, whether it worked out in the end or not.
See the difference here? These statements don't need a win to be true. You can say, the way you kept going after that setback was so impressive, even if the project ultimately failed. Or, I saw how much research you put into this. You're validating the effort, which is so valuable, not just the result.
Now we get even more focused with action approval. This is all about noticing a single positive thing someone does, right when they do it. It doesn't have to be part of some grand plan. It can just be a small, everyday action. We're talking about small, specific behaviors here. Just saying, hey, thank you for picking up that piece of trash, or that was a really thoughtful way to ask that question. It reinforces the behavior and shows you're paying attention to the details, not just the flashy results. Okay, now we're getting to a really subtle but incredibly powerful level, intention approval. This is about seeing the goodwill behind an action, or sometimes even before any action has been taken at all. You're recognizing the thought, the desire, the positive motivation.
This is a total game changer for someone who's struggling. Imagine a teacher saying, I can see you're about to get your textbook out. That's great, before the student has even started studying. You're telling them, I see your good intention, and that in itself matters. You're validating the desire to even try, which is often the hardest part.
And that brings us to the foundation of the whole pyramid. The most powerful, most important level of all, existence approval. This has absolutely nothing to do with results or process or actions or even intentions. It's a simple, unconditional acknowledgement that says, I see you. You have value just by being here. You belong.
And this is just brilliant. It's the simple things, using someone's name, good morning, Sarah, instead of a generic hello. It signals that you see them as an individual. A teacher shared this amazing story about a student who said her favorite thing was when the teacher would just say, "Daijobu," which means, "You'll be okay." It's a statement of complete, unconditional belief in that person.
So this is the whole point, really, understanding just how much power is packed into that foundation. Result approval is nice to have, but existence approval is a need to have. It's what creates the psychological safety that people need to even try in the first place.
I mean, just look at this comparison. A result-focused mindset is totally conditional. It creates fear. If you feel like you're only valued when you win, you become terrified of losing. But an existence-focused mindset, it's unconditional. It tells you your value is a given, which creates the safety and the courage to take risks, to try new things, and, yeah, maybe even to fail.
So if you remember just one thing from all this, please let it be this phrase: lower the level. The next time you catch yourself thinking, "I have nothing to praise here," that's your signal. That's your cue to consciously lower the level. Can't find a result? Look for the process. No clear process? Find a small action. No action yet? Acknowledge the intention. And you can always acknowledge their intention.
Okay, let's make this super practical. How can you start using this foundational, powerful level of acknowledgement like today? It is so much simpler than you think.
These actions are tiny, but their impact is huge. Greeting Sarah instead of just morning says, "I see you." Asking, "What do you think?" tells someone their perspective matters, completely separate from their performance. And just saying, "I'm glad you're here," that is a direct deposit into their sense of belonging. It's that powerful.
So I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. Think about the people in your life, at home, at work, wherever. Who might be stuck, just waiting for that result praise that isn't coming? And how could you, today, just lower the level a little bit and give them that powerful gift of acknowledgement for their action, their intention, or maybe just for being them?